Let's be honest, SEO can sometimes feel like a long, hard slog. But we're not going to be talking about the slog part of SEO today. Right, Luna? We're going to be showing you some 5-minute fixes that you can start implementing on your site immediately to start getting some results. Our first fix, title tags, also called page titles, are still word for word one of the most important SEO elements on each page of your site. They're a little hidden piece of code on every page of your site that shows up in the browser tab at the top of the window and also in the Google search results. Now, not only does Google look at the content of your title tags to understand which phrases your pages should be ranking for, but also if you've got great title tags showing up in the SERPs, people are more likely to click on your site, which is going to get you more traffic and more conversions, which is what we're all here for. Now, we don't talk about title tags too much at Exposure Ninja these days because, truth be told, they're such a basic SEO thing. But take a look at this. The title tag of one of the most popular news sites in the world, home. In fact, the BBC's main title tag is BBC-home. If you search for accountants, you might see this site in the search results. Welcome to icaew.com-icaew. What does it mean? Well, it turns out it means the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. But you'd never guess that from the title tag. She's devastated. Why is this mad? Well, title tags are really important for SEO. BBC is not trying to rank for the word home. ICAEW is not trying to rank for the phrase ICAEW. That's their domain. They would rank for that anyway. So a good page title includes the target keywords that you want that page to rank for. So for example, if we search for accounting software, we see the page titles of the sites that are ranking are things like accounting software, Do Beautiful Business, Zero UK. Online accounting software for small business, the best small business accounting software for 2022. Best accounting software UK, accounting software for small business. What do you notice? They all use the target keyword accounting software. To do anything else is utter madness. Quick tip here, if you want to check out some great page titles to get something which people are going to click through on, one place to analyze is not just your organic ranking competitors, i.e. the other sites that are ranking for this keyword, but also take a look at the ads that are running. Because with the ads that are running, whilst these aren't page titles, these are advertising headlines, advertisers will often be split testing these to work out what gets the most clicks. And they'll get this data much faster than people testing their page titles. So for example, in 2 of these ads that are showing up, we can see that these software companies are targeting the type of business that they want to sell their accounting software to, namely small businesses and small and medium-sized businesses. So I might include small businesses in my page title, knowing that small business accounting people are going to be more likely to click through on that because it's clearly relevant to them. Smart! Okay, tip number 2 is meta descriptions. Now, meta descriptions are kind of like the slightly less famous celebrity sibling, but they don't get as much attention as page titles, they don't have much effect, but they're still kind of useful, and they can still be a quick way to blow up your traffic. Here's why. So the meta description is usually the text that shows in the search results. For example, this stuff here. Now, either you set your own meta description or Google just pulls some copy from your page and shows that instead. But usually that doesn't work out too well. For example, look at this meta description. We just have a list of different banks. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not particularly compelling, and I might be less likely to click on it because of the meta description. Now, they've actually got a pretty decent page title, so I might still click on this search result, but it's unlikely to be because of the meta description. Now, by contrast, this meta description says find and compare the best business bank account in the UK for your company, compare rates, features, and pros and cons of the top providers. That's compelling. It tells me exactly what I'm going to get. Now, whilst Google doesn't look at the content of your meta description to decide ranking or relevance to certain keywords, what will happen is if someone searches for a particular keyword, they see your website listed with your meta description, and then they click on your result, well, that's going to show Google that you're relevant for that search term. So by having a great compelling meta description and getting those clicks, you're likely to improve your ranking over time. Some other great meta description tips. You can use meta descriptions to pique people's curiosity. For example, let's say that I've searched for Infusionsoft alternatives. I can think of no. Infusionsoft great, but let's be honest, everyone who's using it is looking for an alternative. Here we have a fantastic page title, the 5 best Infusionsoft alternatives I'll never use Keep again, Keep it being another name for Infusionsoft, and a great meta description. In my opinion, all of these are better than Infusionsoft. They offer better flexibility with pricing. I am tantalized. I'm going to click on that because it is really compelling and interesting to me. Another thing you can do in your meta descriptions is give people your call to action, i.e. tell them what they're going to be able to do on the page. This does 2 things. Firstly, it attracts people that are most likely to take that action, i.e. usually those that have the most commercial intent. Those are ready to take a next step. But the second thing it does is it pre-converts people so that when I get on that page, I already know the goal of that page and I'm looking for that thing subconsciously. For example, let's say that you search for teeth straightening and you find the Smile Direct Club site here. You see the meta description says, take impressions, order your clear aligners online now and get straight teeth in months. See if you're a candidate for our affordable braces alternative now. So what am I gonna get when I land on that page? Well, I'm gonna be able to see if I'm a candidate. Okay, 5-minute fix number 3 is content headings. Jeez, if I had a Care Bear for every time I saw terrible, under-optimized content headings, I'd be sending mountains of Care Bears to landfill. Now, if we stick with the teeth straightening example, what is wrong with this page? I mean, sure, apart from the page title, the lack of content, the absence of any sort of introduction to this business whatsoever, the lack of instructions about what to do next. Apart from all of that, what's wrong with this page? This heading, overbite, it gives absolutely no context to new visitors. Not only is this unlikely to rank because Google would look at this page and say, what should it rank for? Maybe the phrase overbite. If it did rank for that phrase, nobody is going to spend time on this page because there is no context. The heading does nothing to set the scene for the new visitor that's landed on the page. Now, what this page probably really wants to target is a phrase like how to fix overbite. That's a problem phrase that this business solves. So that should be the page title and it should be the content heading here. Now, this is quite a common problem. And what happens is when people design a website, they design the subpages of that site to sort of act as a next step from the homepage. And what they don't think about is making those subpages rank in their own right. If this subpage was designed to rank in its own right, it would therefore need to accept cold traffic, i.e. people that had no context. They hadn't already been on the homepage. And if it was going to do that, for example, targeting a phrase like how to fix overbite, that would need to be the topic of the page, and then Invisalign would be presented as the solution to that problem. Now, they could quite easily do this, but not with a heading like that. Here's another example, going back to accountants. We can see in their page title that the phrase they want to target is payroll services. But the trouble is when we get on the page, the heading is just payroll. Well, this page is not about payroll. This page is about payroll services. This is an accountancy firm that provides payroll services. So whilst this seems like a small thing, actually this intent gap is massive. If this page was actually about payroll and it was about the ins and outs of payroll and how payroll worked and what it was and how long payroll had been in existence, then fine, but it's not. And that intent gap is really important. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, over to Luna for a short ad break. No? Okay, well if you want some free help with your digital marketing, the team here at Exposure Ninja has a free website and marketing review which can help you get some clarity on what you need to prioritize with your SEO, content marketing, pay-per-click, and your web development. Head over to exposureninja.com, fill out a short questionnaire. We'll show you where to focus your attention over the next 6 to 12 months to generate more sales and leads from your website. The service is completely free, so go to exposureninja.com to request your free website and marketing review today. Okay, tip number 4. This might take you a little longer than 5 minutes, but it's going to save you a ton of time, so I'm still going to include it today. And that is rewriting old posts. Rather than writing a whole new article for your site each week or month, sometimes it's much faster and more effective to go back and rewrite old posts instead. And we do this all the time for clients. So let's say, for example, that we've got a client in accountancy software and we're trying to rank for an informational phrase like how to automate payroll, because we know that people who are searching for that could be interested in buying accountancy software. Now, let's say that they've got an old post on their site, which is doing okay, but it's a little bit out of date, it's not very detailed, and we think it could be spruced up a little bit. Now, we can fix this up by making it longer, adding more detail, bringing it up to date, maybe adding some graphics, much quicker than we can writing a whole new post from scratch. And because this old post might have links, ranking, and traffic already, we'll tend to see results much faster. Boom. Tip number 5 is supplier testimonials. This is killer. Here's the strategy in 20 seconds. Go and give all of your suppliers a great testimonial. When they add it to their website, they'll include a link back to your site, particularly if the testimonial you've given them is fantastic. They'll really want to show it off. And there you have it. Of course, in order to get the best from your SEO work, you're going to need software, whether rank tracking, competitor analysis, audit software, monitoring software. There's so much SEO software out there. How do you know what's good and what isn't? Well, we've used a whole bunch of SEO software at Exposure Ninja, and in this video, we rank the best and worst SEO software. Go and check it out now.